and we're looking for a liftoff at 10:38 this morning. Mike, we found out since our last report that the launch window could go as late as 1:38 this afternoon if necessary, so it's still a 3-hour window.
As they closed the door, the last thing that they did was pull the heater hose out. So that gives you an idea of how cold it is up there. The astronauts don't want to freeze either, and they know.
T-minus 3 minutes and counting. Gimbal checks now complete. T-minus 2 minutes, 44 seconds and counting. Retraction has started of the gaseous oxygen vent hood. 90 seconds and counting. The 51L mission ready to go. T-minus 1 and counting. Sound suppression water system now armed. The hydrogen burn igniters have been armed. These igniters will be fired at T-minus 10 seconds to burn off any residual hydrogen. T-minus 45 seconds and counting. The solid rocket booster flight instrumentation recorders gone into the record mode. Coming up on the 30-second point in our countdown. T-minus 31 seconds. And we've had a go for auto sequence start. The SRB hydraulic power units have started. T-minus 21 seconds, and the solid rocket booster engine gimbal now underway. T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We have main engine start. 4,
Here it goes.
1, and liftoff.
Oh my God.
Look how bright it is. It's bright as the sun. Wait till the sound comes, about 15 seconds.
There it is. Sound.
Is that our sound?
That's here. That's what we're finally hearing. Feeling too, I think. Oh, look at that. Oh.
Which is the Challenger?
I'm not sure. The one going up.
Which one is going? The one on the right?
Yeah, because it's turning, I guess. It's going farther up. Oh, Lord. Can you get the whole thing in view? Look at this trail. See why we like to bring our camera?
What?
That wasn't supposed to happen?
Where are they? Something's going on.
I heard him say in the radio, major malfunction.
Sal, see what's going on 1300.
You see that go so fast? They cut it off. I heard them say in the background they had a major malfunction and then they cut it off.
Anything on 13?
Nothing. Never. When they stop numbers, they really stop.
That thing should go, you should see that vapor trail to it just go a long time. And I've never seen all that other stuff come down.
Nothing on the other stations I checked.
They're waiting for word from any recovery of horses in the downrange field.
Went downrange. Never had that.
These planes and stuff be downrange. That's all the way up.
That all the way up. I have never seen those stuff like this. Never.
Never see what? When they split off separately, you mean?
Never.
No, not like that.
Never.
And that should have.
Usually it's way high
Yeah,
when they
that should have broke off.
So it split up too early?
A lot of times it's even hard to see.
Oh, yeah.
from off.
Is that what happened? It split way too early?
Yeah.
It's definitely.
That guy, Gregory, said it blew up.
I think it blew up, right there when that big explosion.
So what does that mean for the shuttle? Do they have enough power to get to orbit? How come the radio station
If
switch
they had
off?
a major fatality, yeah.
Hopefully not a fatality.
Control Houston, we have no additional word at this time.
What station is that? Same one?
They don't have any words yet.
Is it the same station though?
Yeah.
Wonder what happened to all the
Reports from the flight down this afternoon indicates that the vehicle apparently exploded and that impact in the water at a point approximately 28.64 degrees north, 80.28 degrees west. We are awaiting the location of the recovery forces in the field to see what may be possible at this point. And we will keep you advised as further information becomes available. This is Mission Control.
Oh my God.
Would that be over here?
I took a picture of it. The last picture, actually the 25th picture on the frame. I wasn't going to take any more. And when it went off like that, I was watching the camera. I knew it wasn't right.
Is it turning its
I've
stuff
never
over
seen it do that
immediately? That's the third immediately. Oh, we were out there yesterday on the launch floor, watching from the other side.
Is that thin trail where the shuttle went?
No, that's just been like coming down. The vehicle exploded, and there's pieces of the shuttle raining into the ocean.
Where?
Into the Atlantic, and they're already covered. She's just had something on a different station. I'm going to try to get a different station. There's recovery ships out there that are going to pick up with it.
Do you know what station it is?
I'm going to try to find it. They're not broadcasting.
Turn it up. Turn it up, Sal. Is it way up? Turn it up, Sal. I'm sorry. That's just going to give me that.
To repeat, we had apparently normal ascent with the data coming to all positions being normal up through approximately the time of main engine throttle back up to 104%. At about approximately a minute or so into the flight, there was an apparent explosion. The flight dynamics officer reported, tracking reported that the vehicle had exploded and impacted the water in an area approximately located at 28.64 degrees north, 80.28 degrees west.
Shortly after takeoff, the Space Shuttle exploded in a cloud of smoke with 6 astronauts and New Hampshire schoolteacher Christa McAuliffe on board. NASA's Hugh Harris made the announcement.
We have a report from the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point.
Once again, the Space Shuttle exploded shortly after takeoff just a few minutes ago. In Washington, President Reagan getting set for tonight's State of the Union address. Still no word from NASA on exactly what caused the explosion.
Only one person. Looks like the boosters blew off.
One little, yeah.
Did you see it?
It blew off.
Described here in one wire service account we've just received. Others say they saw a bright flash of orange flame. Suddenly, a huge fireball, then some silence from mission control, and then suddenly the word that we received that the Shuttle Challenger, with its crew, including teacher observer Christa McAuliffe, exploded. The shuttle went down in the Atlantic Ocean off the Kennedy Space Center, and apparently all are lost. NASA has had no radio contact at all, or had none, with the shuttle after the explosion. It is now in pieces in the Atlantic Ocean off the Kennedy Space Center. Mission control saying debris from the shuttle impacted several miles out in the Atlantic. The recovery crews speeding now in that direction. On board the commander, Francis Dick Scobee, pilot Michael J. Smith, Judith Resnik, Ronald McNair, Ellison, Onizuka, Gregory Jarvis, and of course, Concord, New Hampshire schoolteacher Christa McAuliffe. The 25th flight of the shuttle program is a tragedy. The Challenger exploded, and there is no indication there is any way any of the crew could survive. The veteran space correspondent for the shuttle program and others, and our colleague John Lyons is joining us now from London. John Lyons, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, John.
Okay. This is, of course, the one thing that everybody in the space program has said all along is not a survivable type accident. Any kind of explosion that occurs in that first 2 minutes and 4 seconds, there's just no way that they have any way of controlling the vehicle.
John, is it conceivable this could have been weather-related, in your opinion?
No, I don't think so. It seems to have happened. Of course, you know, millions of things are going on in that spacecraft all the time, but it seems to have coincided with what they call throttle up when they take the engines on this spacecraft and go from 65% up to 104%, you're giving it full power, that something happened. As of right now, obviously nobody seems to know, but if it had anything to do with the solid rocket boosters exploding, they would have gone out of control and the spacecraft would break up. If it didn't, maybe part of the shuttle itself could have landed in the water.
But with an explosion of this magnitude, as we saw it on the NASA TV monitors here in our studios, this was a major explosion. I likened it to a Roman candle going off. Certainly nothing that, from a layman's point of view, could have been survivable.
It was like a snaking across the sky, John, the flame and the smoke.
Yeah, we're now getting a feed on a monitor here in London. The astronauts, the flight controllers, when I was doing simulations back several years ago, didn't even want to talk about this phase of the flight because when they designed the Space Shuttle, they designed it with these two big solid rocket boosters that basically throw it up into space. And if either one of those blew up or if the external tank blew up during that period of time, they said there's just no way out. John, remember that during the early first four flights, they had ejection seats in the spacecraft for the commander and for the co-pilot. Those were taken out when they completed the test program because they could not have provided ejection seats for all of the crew members.
John, what is this going to do you think, to the shuttle program? Obviously, this is the same technology they intend to use for all the other shuttle flights.
Just the amount of fire that you saw up there.
Well, it's catastrophic. It's absolutely catastrophic. It'll take them a long time to figure out why it happened, obviously, and what made it happen, but it would seem that there is something basic in the design of the space shuttle that may be flawed, and that they said they were getting normal data up till the time of explosion, which means they got no clues up to that point that something was about to happen. Obviously, this year is out, and this terrible, terrible tragedy will be an extreme blow to NASA.
And of course, the human tragedy cannot be measured. We're talking about 7 people. We're talking about a school teacher from Concord, New Hampshire. This was possibly one of the most popular shuttle flights we've had in a long time. The shuttle program, the American public, as it tends to do, became very blasé after the shuttle.
It almost seemed routine,
very
almost
routine.
as if you were getting on an airliner and going somewhere.
Yes, but now they had so much attention paid to this, and everybody was looking forward so much to the lessons from outer space, and now this is. What it's done to NASA is obvious. The human tragedy cannot be measured. The lives
that's certainly true. I can say that I was down for the Columbia launch a couple of weeks ago, and although to those of us who watch these things go up, that it may have become routine, but it certainly has not become routine for the people who prepare those rockets, the flight directors, the controllers, and all of those people. The safety people are extremely conscious of all of that, so I don't think anybody should jump to conclusions and say that it has just become some sort of lax security or something like that. This is a highly risky business of firing off these rockets. You're taking 7 million pounds of fire thrust to shoot them up into space, and when something goes wrong during that early part of the flight, it can only be catastrophic, and it certainly has become that.
You are listening to live special coverage from ABC Radio, the tragedy today at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Just about 2 minutes after what seemed to be a routine liftoff, the Space Shuttle Challenger with a crew of 7 on board experienced an explosion. It veered toward the ocean, and the pieces of the shuttle and its solid rocket boosters fell into the ocean. And although we have not received any confirmation from Mission Control, it certainly does appear that all of those on board have been killed.
NASA has been very quiet. They have not even shown a replay of the launch, which they normally do many times shortly after the launch. 7 people were on board, but less than 2 minutes after launch, the Challenger exploded, veered out of control in a crazy snake-like motion across the bright blue sky.
I used to live in Orlando. I must have saw about a dozen of them go up.
And then knew what to expect.
As soon as that thing did that, I knew. I knew. It just, as it went up just before it exploded, it should have just continued up and then out over the ocean, and then way out where you could just barely see it still. The boosters were separated. If you're lucky, clear day today, you probably could see it.
But there would be no parachutes on board the shuttle. None of the crew members have parachutes.
Yes, we know that.
So this, John, again, we should emphasize an accident like this for the people on board that shuttle is absolutely inescapable. Once you're there and once you're heading up toward orbit like that and something of this magnitude happens, this is nothing that can be survived.
That is what NASA says about an accident of an explosion within the first 2 minutes of flight. I think also,
yes,
if there was any way that thing was separated, that the Challenger itself separated, and as I said, I have not seen that part of it on television.
I said, that's not turn around.
There are T-38 aircraft in the area that would be out looking for them. There are also helicopters which would have already been in the air at launch.
I didn't know which to follow.
And,
I didn't know what was going on.
A lot of people out there. Apparently, a clear day.
It's a very clear day.
Soon.
It's a very clear day, John. The Challenger itself was obscured by the ball of flame when the explosion took place, and then we saw, looked like a dozen or so, looked like pieces of equipment falling out of the sky, and each of them carrying tails of smoke with them as they fell in a helter-skelter fashion into the ocean.